Caithness, the furthest northeasterly point of the Scottish mainland. Wild, rugged, remote. Home to a seafaring people who have, for thousands of years, relied on the vast and stormy North Sea for transport, livelihood, and, of course, inspiration. At the beginning of the 19th century, Sir William Johnston Pulteney, a wealthy governor of the British Fisheries Society, transformed the fortunes of this distant corner of Scotland by building a new herring fishing town and harbour on the estuary of Wick. Pulteney Town, as it was known, became home to more than 10,000 fishermen and over 1,000 fishing vessels, a strange and beautiful sight to see, wrote the young Robert Louis Stevenson while living with his uncle who built Wick's lighthouse. It was said that Pulteney Town gave the world both silver and gold. Silver, the thousands of tons of silver darlings once landed by Europe's largest fishing fleet, and gold, Old Pulteney single malt Scotch whisky. The Pulteney distillery opened in 1826 in the heart of Pulteney Town, built by Britain's leading civil engineer, Thomas Telford. Lying 3 degrees north of Moscow, it was and still is the most northerly distillery on the Scottish mainland. With no roads to the town, the sea was the only way of getting the barley in and the whisky out. And it was this isolation, combined with tough living conditions, that led to an increasingly unruly population who, it is said, drank the distillery's wares at a rate of 500 gallons per day. And that was after a good day's fishing. After a bad day, well, nobody was counting. The result, prohibition, peacekeeping troops and gunboats. And a new first for the distillery. Between 1922 and 1947, it was the only distillery to operate in a dry town. But who could blame those Pulteney Town folk? It was, and still is, an unashamedly excellent single malt, which is why, although the fishing fleet declined, the whisky went on. On the 15th of May 1997, 50 years to the day after the lifting of prohibition, Old Pulteney 12-year-old single malt was launched. So what makes Old Pulteney unique? Is it the fresh Highland water from Loch Hempriggs, channeled to the distillery along Telford's Lade? Or the use of traditional distilling methods, which most other distilleries have long since discarded, such as the deep bed mash tuns, which empty far more slowly than conventional tuns to produce a much clearer wort, and the 100-metre long copper tubes or worms that cool the vapour from the stills far more gently than more modern techniques, imparting the spirit with a distinctive character? Or is it the rich, complex spirit derived from the smuggler's kettle, still reminiscent of the illicit stills of the past, and apparently shortened to get it through the stillhouse door? Or the action of the salt air on the casks in the warehouses, situated only a few hundred yards from the harbour? Or perhaps the uniqueness of Old Pulteney comes down to the people that created it, the seafaring folk of Wild Caithness, their hardship, their community, their companionship. Is it this that makes Old Pulteney the genuine maritime malt? The answer, of course, can be found in the bottle. To taste Old Pulteney whisky is to experience Pulteney Town itself, its history, its people, its sense of community, and of course, its traditions. Old Pulteney whisky is as unique as the place it comes from, which is why, for whisky drinkers throughout the world, there is only one Old Pulteney.